Good morning and welcome back to another Saturday morning coffee episode. Today, we are just drinking iced coffee. It's the normal one that I tend to drink on the show, and it's just because it's so damn hot. And I just, as much as I love a nice hot cup of coffee in the morning, it just does not sit right when I'm dying of heat outside of this room. So we're doing nice coffee today. It's instant coffee. I know, but I swear to God, it's the only good instant coffee there is. It's that Mexicana Los Cafe, I think. Anyways, this weekend we're gonna be talking about quirks and beige flags. And I don't know, quirks are kind of the definition of beige flags. But I thought there's difference enough to at least keep it there. Um, For this, I actually asked Faith, my fiance, to write this list of quirks and beige flags, and I have not seen it. I know what the first one is because I gave her one to start me off with so that she would know kind of like what I was going for. And it turns out I didn't need to do that. I gave her the notebook for this, and she just went off. And she had no problem. I told her, oh yeah, take the day to think about it, and she was done in like 5 minutes. So, the first one that I'm going to talk about is being anti-microwave. And I get a lot of flack for this, but the people who get it, and they're on board with it. I don't like having a microwave, using a microwave. I just I have a big issue with it, and not because I'm like concerned about some, radio waves coming out and affecting my body or something. It's that I don't like what it does to my food. It keeps everything wet and soggy, and it if you're any kind of like meat or bread product, it never tastes right. And your soup is always cold in the middle and like lava hot on the outside. The bowl's too hot. It's just like nothing you make in the microwave is truly the way it should taste. And it bugs me to no end. And so what I do is I have an air fryer and I have a stove. So that's everything I need. Um I can toast in the oven. I can warm up soup in a soup pan. And for meats and things that need to be crispy, I throw them in the air fryer, right? And I don't know where this came from. I think I might have like heard it on a podcast, and then years and years ago, and then I started internalizing it. And then when I moved to this new place a couple years ago, I was like, I'm not getting a microwave. I don't need one. I don't like what it does to food anyways. And I have been fine without a microwave for years now. And literally the only reason to ever have needed a microwave was to pop a bag of popcorn. And even then, if I wanted, I could just buy the stovetop version. You just throw it on the burners and it pops up. I just don't like having a microwave. And it really does just come down to I don't like what it does to my food. Now, this opinion, because of its microwaves being easy to use and your food is warmed up in seconds, is really the only reason I can see that somebody else likes it is that it's just quicker, and maybe less dishes. It's definitely less dishes. But I just don't think you can sacrifice that kind of the kind of quality you get by reheating it traditionally, using a stove or some other appliance. And so I've gotten a lot of flack for it from people, but the longer I go not microwaving things, the longer I appreciate it and love it. My fiance is not such a fan of it. She prefers the quick and easy route. But it's all right. I have time to change her lifestyle. It's kind of funny. We were doing a movie episode for my other podcast, Quest for Five. It's a Lorcana trading card game fan podcast. And we watched a movie to prepare for an episode that's coming out. And we had our friend Kristen come over for it. And she made a joke about popping the popcorn before she came over because she wanted popcorn. And I was like, haha, very funny. And I was like, we can just go downstairs directly below my apartment. It's Faith's apartment. We can pop the popcorn there. And that's what I do. And, or we, regrettably and recently, Faith agreed to take a microwave, from someone for free. And she didn't realize just how big it was. And this thing is a monster. Like, it is huge. It's got to be the biggest microwave I've ever seen in my life. And so now it sits in the beneath the countertop, like in a cabinet. And so on the rare occasion that Faith needs it, and I'm not the one like reheating food for her, it gets pulled out. And she uses it, but it stays out of sight, so it stays out of mind. And we could have used that, but no. Kristen thought it would be hilarious to bring her own popcorn, and in fact, she did. So, anyways, that's why I'm anti-microwave. And I don't see myself ever going back. I just appreciate quality so much more over that 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes it takes to reheat something elsewhere. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. All right, now the rest of these I still have not read yet, so we're going to go through these and find out together. I'm going to have to vet these because I don't, like I said, I have no idea what's actually on here. But the first one we got... not wanting to get into the water when we paddleboard. Okay, that's not universal. That's just that the reservoir that we paddleboard in, I just think is a little too gross, and I think we come out with a little there's like a distinct smell from it, because it's not big, it doesn't move, it's not like gross, it doesn't have like algae all over the place or anything like that. It's just like, I like cleaner water, and I'll get in if I'm really feeling it, but there's just something about semi-stagnant bodies of water that I'm just like, no, I don't want to get in that. There's something wrong. I don't know. Like I'm hoping this hits a certain person here. It's fishing water, not swimming water. But it's the closest place we have to go paddleboarding. If like we got off work and we want to go paddleboarding and like just get outside, like it's there, So that's all I'm going to say on that subject. Okay. These, I can see the one right below it by accident, and these two pretty much go together. So in every game, in every video game I play, if I have the choice to play as a woman character, I will take that choice. And if I have a choice to be gay in that game and date another woman companion, I will do that. It is something I have done since I was a child. I have always played as like female characters, and made my characters gay, and different people have tried to get me to like kind of like psychoanalyze it, but the truth is, I just don't like men. It's why there's only been one guy that I've ever in my life been okay living with, and that's who's going to be my best man, Eli. Outside of that, I don't have good experiences with men, either whether it's my own father, which I've talked about on this podcast before, or it's seeing my mom either cheated on or like in abusive relationships and then having to deal with the fallout of that. Myself and either seeing the abuse or hearing it or whatever. And then there's other family members who have had to deal with and deal with things from men. And I just like never in my life had a good, strong male role model. And so I just don't like men. I don't want to live with them. And I don't want to play as a guy. So I just don't. And the characters are gay just because, again, no guy. And I honestly don't think I've ever made an exception. Yeah, I don't think I've ever made the exception of actually dating a guy. I've maybe once or twice played as a male character. But I'm going to say 95% of the time I'm going to choose a female character. And so I think if you've listened to the childhood episodes and the mom episode, you would be able to get a beginning of the idea of why I make these choices. It is what it is. So, one moment. Another thing is, my recording room is the furthest away from the AC, and it is always hot and stuffy back here. So it's getting to the point with the summer where I'm only able to do stuff on my computer or recording like in the early morning or late at night, and that's starting to make things a little bit more difficult. Aside from playing my gay woman in my time at Sandrock recently, that's another thing that's been kind of getting me behind. I've been obsessed with that game lately, and I'm currently romancing this character called Mian, and it's the cutest relationship ever. So anyways, that's keeping me from recording too. So okay, my next one. I say that my favorite dessert or cake is carrot cake, but she doesn't think that's true. If she doesn't, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I love carrot cake. I always have. It's made for my birthday every year. I I don't know what she thinks my favorite dessert is. Maybe she thinks it's chocolate chip cookies or like donuts because I it is literally impossible for me to walk past and not grab one or say no when a chocolate chip cookie or a donut is offered. Chocolate chip cookie is just because it's classic, you know. Well, like how can you not love that? It's so good, especially if it's like just like a soft one. The donut is just childhood trauma. I can't say no to a donut because it reminds me of the good moments with my dad. Because when we were growing up on Sunday mornings, he would go and grab donuts, and that's what we would eat for breakfast on Sundays. And so it just reminds me of good moments with my dad. Yeah, so I've tried to deal with that one before, and it's just not going to go anywhere. So, anyways, I guess that's not. Maybe she thinks chocolate chip cookies are my favorite dessert. I wish she wrote what she thought it was. 'Cause I do think carrot cake is my favorite like event dessert. Like if I had a birthday or there was like some kind of celebration, I would want there to be carrot cake. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask her. Um, I don't leave the house in anything that looks like pajamas. We have my mother to thank for this one too. She raised us very strong in the belief that you don't leave the house in pajamas. That the world will judge you and that you need to be, you need to look decent when you leave the house. And so if it's pajamas, I'm not wearing it outside this house. I have got to be dead tired. It's got to be late at night or the laziest of Saturdays or Sundays for me to make a quick trip to the grocery store in like joggers. To me, joggers are pajamas. They're not something I would wear in public, and so even those, I'm not comfortable going out unless it's one of those prior conditions I mentioned. And I've internalized this belief that my mom pounded into us growing up. You know, just leave the house presentable. So there's I don't think there's ever going to be getting around that, but I am gonna try and not like being so hard about it with my kids, and I think it's gonna be tough. But I think that it's not always been great because like there's a little part of me that now judges everyone else for doing it, and I don't want to. Like, people are free to make their own decisions. People are free to dress and act, you know, to an extent, however they want in public. In my personal opinion, but my childhood beliefs that are at combat with that, you know, I don't want to bequeath that onto my kids as well. All right. Oh, she's got another video game one for me. I have to finish in all bold letters or in all capital letters everything in my games to say it's completed. Yeah, I'm a hardcore completionist. Every game needs to be 100%ed. I need to have collected every collectible. I needed to have maxed out all upgrades, maxed out the level, completed every side quest, no matter how menial. And that's why I can't play like Skyrim. It's just because there's an infinite amount of content, and there needs to be an end to it. It's like a project that has no end, and I'm not comfortable taking something like that on. But I do have to finish absolutely everything in every game to say it's actually completed. Even like achievements give me a good like framework for that. That's why I like playing on Xbox, because those achievements like help me define that a little bit. But even if there's content that goes beyond those achievements, like, you know, collectibles that maybe aren't tied to achievements, I have to go for them, especially like if I've started it. I can't be done with the game until I've got everything, and I don't know where that comes from or why. I wouldn't be surprised if it's tied to when I was very young, watching my dad and grandpa play video games. I 100% believe that my grandpa would have been or was just like that when he played video games. I've been told that he and I share a similar kind of mind. And so I'm sure that I picked it up from him from watching over his shoulder as he played video games, of having to 100% absolutely everything in the game to even consider it close to being done. But I don't mind it. Like, people put in their heart and soul to make a video game, and I want to respect that by experiencing everything they put in there. And yeah, I don't know if they put in a lot of effort. I would hope that someone playing a future game that I make would also do the same, like want to explore everything. Mm. This one's a we, but we buy new games, meaning board and card games, and then don't play them for like a month. Honey, that's called being a collector. I collect the games, and then sometimes I don't play them. I have at last count 76 board and card games, and I wouldn't be surprised if I've only played 40 of them. Yeah. I'd say that's probably true because for a long time I didn't have anyone to play these with. The friends and partner I had at the time for several year stretch was not interested in playing games, and so I started collecting single player games, but even then I wasn't playing them. And so I have a lot of games that I've bought but never had friends to play with. And I think there's a little bit of a mindset of just buy them for the collection, not buy them to immediately go home and play. Not that I have anything against playing any of these games. In every game I've ever bought, I had full intention of playing. So yeah, I just sometimes games go unplayed, and it just comes down to also just how busy life is sometimes. Like, especially since moving back here and since Faith and I have started dating, I lead an incredibly busy life, and I truly cannot wait for that to slow down. And I know people say, "Oh, life never slows down," but no, you're wrong. Life does slow down, because if you're in my situation where you have been president of a alumni corporation board for a fraternity at the same time of being a full-time software engineering student, working full-time, planning a wedding or dating someone, and having an active social life and many side projects at the same time, and podcasts, no, I 100% life does slow down from that. And I am taking steps to move away from such a busy life. And I can already see the fruit of those steps, of those efforts. So yes, life does slow down. And I think with that means more time to play games and having the energy to bust out those 30 some games that I haven't tried before. Okay. I don't know what this one is. I talk to Sis, our dog, and Ken's, my niece, with the same gibberish. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Because I think I try to talk to Kinsley like she's an adult. Because I read somewhere that you should talk to a baby like they're an adult and they can pick up language, the English language, better that way than talking like ooh ga 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 kind of thing. I don't know what she means by gibberish. I'm trying to think here, but I don't think I've ever noticed this. I speak to my dog and my niece the same way. That sounds awful. I wish I could think of an example for this, but I just don't know. I don't know. This is another one that I would need her to be around for. Shoot. Okay. This is the last one. Oh, yeah. When I want something, but I won't say it, because I don't want to be an inconvenience. Yes. Yeah, this is definitely a beige flag, not a quirk. Again, childhood trauma. I was acutely aware of family finances, and so I remember as a child, and riding in the car with mom's friends, and they'd stop at a gas station and went, "Do you guys want anything?" My siblings would say something, and I'd say, "Nope, I'm good," even though I would be dying of thirst. I think I would rather suffer from dehydration than ask even for a water from someone from a gas station as a child. It didn't matter how long the road trip. It didn't matter where we were going, who we were with. If I got asked, "What do you want?" I would say nothing. Even though I would be dying for a water bottle, because I just didn't want to inconvenience someone, and I was acutely aware that hey, my family is struggling, that probably means other families are struggling, and I don't want to add on to that burden. Even if they're asking me right now, what do you want? I will buy it for you. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound right to me. I'm fine. It is, that's a lifelong thing too, and just comes from my childhood, and there is no fixing that. So if I want something, I'm probably not gonna say it to anyone other than myself. And that extends to so many different things. Now, don't get me wrong, I speak up for myself at work. When it comes to work, I don't feel bad for asking for more money. I don't feel bad asking for promotions. I don't. No, it's cutthroat for me at work. So I will ask for what I want there. But in interpersonal, like family and friend relationships, when it comes to that, no, I won't ask for what I want. Because I just don't want to burden them. So I think if there's any line to draw here, it's that line of being more hard on this at work. Because if you're not going to advocate for yourself, like you're not going to get the money you deserve. You're not going to get like the opportunities, the projects you're interested in. You're just going to get stuck with the shit end of the stick, right? So yeah. That's what I have to say about that. I think anything I would want to say was pretty much covered in that. So that's it for today's Saturday morning coffee. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you back next time.